Are you looking to deploy an etcd cluster as a Docker Swarm service that configures itself automatically? If so, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into how to set this up without any manual intervention. I totally understand the frustration of wanting a seamless deployment process. Many developers face the challenge of configuring clusters without the hassle of manual setups. You're definitely not alone in this. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked how to deploy an etcd cluster as a Docker Swarm service that automatically configures itself. They want to avoid the complexities of TLS and manual configurations. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what are the hurdles here? The user is facing issues with initial configuration, especially since Docker doesn't support DNS SRV records for discovery. This makes it tricky to set up the cluster automatically. Stay tuned. By the end of this video, I'll share a clever trick that could simplify your deployment process significantly. To begin deploying an etcd cluster as a Docker Swarm service, the user should create a Docker Compose file. This file will define the services, networks, and volumes needed for the etcd cluster. Next, the user needs to configure the initial cluster settings. This can be done by using an entry point script that sets the etcd initial cluster variable dynamically based on the container names. After setting up the entry point script, the user should ensure that the script is executable and referenced in the Docker Compose file. This allows the etcd containers to start with the correct configuration. Finally, the user can deploy the stack using Docker Compose. This will create the etcd cluster with the specified configurations, allowing it to self-configure automatically. Fun fact, did you know that etcd was originally developed by CoreOS to manage the configuration of distributed systems? It's a powerful tool for modern cloud-native applications. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggests using the IP addresses of your nodes to create unique etcd names. Each etcd instance can be named based on its container's IP, like etcd IP. The etc initial cluster can then be populated with the IPs of the other containers, making it easier to configure the cluster automatically. Here's a pro tip. Always test your Docker Compose setup in a staging environment before deploying it to production. This can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to deploy your etcd cluster effortlessly. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on Docker and cloud technologies.